Hi, welcome to Tony's Quick Tips. We've been talking over the last few videos about how to give yourself the best chance of having people listen to you and then agree to take action when you've got to try and engage with them on the telephone. In previous videos, we've introduced the importance of the right structure to the telephone track and also how to get the style or the delivery of it right. We know structure matters because we have to try, without body language and the non-verbal communication clues, to get and hold the other person's attention as quickly as possible and have them focus on the conversation. We have to obtain permission from them and then quickly generate interest if we want them to stay engaged. And that interest has to be good enough to trigger desire on their part, the desire to go to the next step, which is often agreeing to meet with us to discuss the idea in person. Now finally, we've got to wind it up nicely with a clear action or outcome from the discussion. So far, we've covered how to get attention and then move into the part of the telephone track that generates interest. Moving from there to creating desire is a smooth transition, but with a little pause. The little pause after delivering the what's in it for me and your value proposition serves two purposes. It allows the prospect to engage if they wish. For example, they may well have already heard enough and they may want to make a time to talk further. It also allows you to shift the tempo and energy levels down a notch, which is important for getting the prospect to feel that they're not being pressured and that they are actually in control. So to trigger desire, we do two things. We call out the ghosts, as it were, by preempting a concern or an objection that we expect them to have. And then we try and quantify the value in some meaningful way for them. For example, to figure out if we can get the right solution for you will only take about 15 minutes of your time, but we put in a few hours in the background doing the research and we don't charge you for that because we know you'd want to see that we can actually find the right solution first. So in this example, we preempted any don't have time or don't have money type objections and we created some form of tangible value for them, our expertise for $0, and from there we close out the conversation. And closing out the conversation becomes an easy matter of moving on to the action stage. With today's busy and discerning consumers, it's generally best to close it out softly. Provide a general question which is open in structure before getting down to the specifics. So when is generally better for you to have this sort of chat? Is there a day of the week that tends to work better for you? From there you can narrow it down to the specific and you can wrap it up. Generally Fridays are better, are they? Okay, so how's next Friday looking? Would 10 a.m. work for you? This is all delivered with the energy levels down and the tempo slowed. So it's somewhat of an anticlimax rather than becoming a big tension point. So having a great telephone track and creating conversations that engage people is about having a great structure and a well thought through approach, which is then delivered with the right style at different points in the conversation. It isn't a script where everything is word for word necessarily, but it is an effective structure which gets attention, generates interest, triggers desire, and then logically finishes with a clear action step. Great structure, when combined with great style of delivery, does make for an effective telephone technique, and that's the quick tip for today.